Hey, welcome to the Commerce Hero Show. I am joined today by a true Magento hero, Christian Münch of netz98 out in Germany. Christian, how are you?
Hi, good so far. I hope you are also well.
Yeah, doing well, doing well. Man, it's been a while since we last chatted. I think we last talked, was it this last Imagine or two Imagines
Yeah,
ago, I think?
imagine 2017. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. By
we
the way,
talked and
I was
yeah,
saying
we talked and
Max
you
Pronko said in the chat, true Magento master, which I agree. I agree with.
yeah, but you are my hidden master.
And no,
You
no, no, relax, relax, calm down.
no, really, you are my hidden master. You bring so much information in the Magento community with your podcast and with also the Mage Talk. It's you're really
You're
my
you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me. This is all about you today. So um by the way, what part of Germany are you in? I'm starting to learn some of the different areas of Germany a little better.
Yeah, I'm located in Worms. This is
Worms. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it sounds very crazy for American people, but
It does, yeah.
yeah,
Got
this
it.
is maybe the oldest city in Germany.
Oh, really?
I think Martin Luther was there for a trial. So it's
Oh, really?
very yeah. So I think religious people could know Worms.
Got
So
it. Got it.
yeah,
I remember hearing a story from this church thing I was at about the Moravians in oh gosh, what city was it in? It was about this 100 years prayer or something where they prayed night and day for like 100 years.
okay.
Um, oh gosh, I can't remember. I think they were called the Moravians, but I can't remember the city. Um,
Hmm.
but anyway, for those people that don't know that much about you yet, maybe could you tell a little bit about your background and how you've gotten into the Magento community and
Okay.
what you work on?
It depends how far I should go back.
All the way to the beginning.
Okay, as I was very computer interested in as young boy, so I started with a C64 Commodore
Yeah.
64. So it's
Did you ever play video games on the Commodore
yeah,
64? Boppin'
yeah,
Boppin' Wrestling?
yeah,
Yeah, you did. You played Boppin' Wrestling?
yeah. And
Ah,
I had a
excellent.
lot of yeah cartridges and discs
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
for this computer, and this was my first contact with a real computer.
Hmm.
Before I had only a Atari game console, so but it does not count. So I think the first computer was my Commodore 64,
Yeah.
but with a disk drive, not with a tape cartridge.
Okay.
So and I didn't use a acoustic coupler, so for internet connection. So my first internet connection was yeah started with a PC.
Okay. I don't know if I ever heard you said an acoustic coupler. That was
Yeah,
an
acoustic
early.
coupler is like a modem, but you have to yeah you had to have a cradle of a phone, and you put
Mhm.
yeah you had yeah it's acoustic means audio. You have
Yeah, yeah,
audio
yeah.
signals which are modulated, so
Oh
it's
wow.
like a modem, but you have to. It's
It
hard
was like
to.
predated modems. It was before modems. Oh
Yeah,
wow, I never knew that.
but
So
that's not my time.
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, I'm too young for that.
Right.
After my C64, I had a Amiga, Commodore Amiga.
Hmm. Hmm.
Amiga I don't know if this is popular in
That doesn't sound familiar to me. I went from Commodore 64 to Atari. Well,
okay, the
for video
ST. This
games.
was a ST, yeah. So Atari ST.
I don't remember which
This
type
is
of Atari
this
it
is
was.
yeah, this is so there was only two kind of people: the Amiga people or the Atari ST people.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Did you some music with your Atari?
No, no.
No.
I wasn't into music because I was when I was a kid. I probably didn't get to music till I was, I don't know, maybe a teenager or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after the Amiga, I had a PC. So my first PC had a speed of 137 megahertz. So it's
Uh,
and
it's so
Amiga had
cool.
only seven megahertz. So
Oh
it
my
was very
God.
slow. Yeah. Seven
That's so crazy.
mega, not giga.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so crazy how things have changed.
It's one megabyte of RAM.
Yeah. Couldn't run Magento on that very
But
well.
with a 30 megabyte hard drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a USB
Uh,
stick.
so funny.
Small. Yeah, and then I started with programming, with Pascal,
Oh, okay.
Pascal
I took a
programming,
class in Pascal.
Turbo Pascal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turbo Pascal. Yeah,
Before it was a little bit basic, but basic is not the same as Turbo Pascal. So
yeah,
with Turbo
yeah.
Pascal, you had a modern language, and yeah, this was my first software. And then I moved to Delphi. Delphi is
Oh, okay.
Object Pascal and
Hmm.
Windows programming. So my
Hmm.
first job was programming Windows applications.
Okay.
And after that, a friend brought me to PHP. My first job, real job, was in a advertising agency, very small, and his mother is the owner of this
Yeah.
company, and so he brought me to this agency, and so I wrote my first PHP scripts there,
Hmm.
the age of 19.
Nice. Nice. Did
At this time, yeah,
were you
at this
going to university at the same time, or was
um, um, yeah, 1 year later, 1 year later, I started there. I went to the university, but I didn't finish the university.
Oh, really?
No,
Wow, you're another one of those
no, I'm
genius
not so.
university dropouts.
No, but I was very young as I created web applications.
Uh-huh.
So with 20, I was at the yeah I created applications for bigger companies
Hmm.
like the yeah like a search solution for medical data.
Hmm.
Yeah. And at this
Nice.
time, there were no people with PHP knowledge and university. Yeah, how should I say? Most of the people in the university didn't learn PHP and wrote
Hmm.
web applications.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when did I start PHP? I started with QBasic.
Okay.
I remember the banana game where the monkeys, they throw bananas at each other and you have to set the angle to try to hit each other.
Okay.
And then what else? I got a book on C, Learn C in 21 days. I
Okay.
think when I was like 15 or 16. Um, and then I took a class at the community college on Pascal, and then what else? When I went to and then I had for my math class, I had a calculator, which is a TI 85.
Yeah.
And then you could program basic on those calculators. So I made some games on like Tetris or something like that on the calculator. Um,
Ah.
and then I went to school for math. And then I got a job during the summer doing one job doing Java, and then the next one was PHP, and
Okay.
then from there I did PHP.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, so then when did you start at Nets 9? It's by the way, it's pronounced Nets98, right?
Uh, yeah, that's correct. Not Netz. It's
Not
called
Netz. I used to always call
Netz.
it NetZ.
Yeah, Netz is a German word for net. So net like network, and we are
Oh, okay, okay.
founded. We are founded in the year 1998. So
Oh, wow.
the name is Netz 98.
Got it. Oh, got it. Okay, that makes
In
sense now.
Australia, they call us NetZ 98.
NetSat?
NetZ 98.
What does that mean?
And they pronounce a Z
Oh, Zet. Oh,
excellently.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. Right. That always confuses me when they say Zet. Um,
So our intern vendor namespace is N98. So
yeah,
that's why the tool is called N98 Matron
yeah,
to don't conflict with a Matron. So
right, right.
you have yeah.
So we're gonna talk all about Mage Run. I'm a huge fan. I used to use it like crazy when I was an in-house Magento developer. Well, actually, yeah, basically just as a Magento developer in general. And then I built some add-on commands that I used a lot, and I love that project. Actually, let's talk about it now. So, what gave you the initial idea for it?
Yeah.
And give some background on the project.
So it sounds crazy, but there was no initial idea to create this tool. So one time I evaluated some components, like the Symfony components, and if I evaluate some software, I need a side project to test it. So I don't like Hello World examples all the time. So I decided to do to create a CLI tool, a very simple CLI tool to test Symfony components. And because I'm a really CLI junkie, I use
Yeah.
CLI tools all the time. So I think it was a good idea to create a CLI tool with Symfony components, and at work we do only Magento programming. So I tested to initialize Magento in this CLI application, and yeah, this was very easy with Magento 1. You only had to include one file, the app mage.php file,
Yeah.
and call mage it, and the Magento framework was up and running. It was easier than in Magento 2, and so it was easy for me to integrate Magento in this CLI tool. So, and what could be the first command to test? What do you mean? What's the first command?
You're asking if I know what the first command was? Info? Was it the info?
So a command which every developer needs all the time if he works with Magento.
Clear cache.
Yeah, correct. So I thought it's a good idea to prepare the cache.
I've used that so many times.
This was the first command.
Yeah,
it's the first. At this time, its name was cache clear, but cache clean and cache clear is a little bit confusing. So we decided to rename it to cache flush. So
yeah,
cache flush is
So I'm from the cache clear days. That's what.
Yeah, and Magento 2 contains a cache clean command, so it's
okay.
So if you're a Matron, you have a cache flush and a cache clean command.
Yeah.
That was the first. The tool was really small and contains only this command. And at the next day, business day, I showed this little tool my colleague, Alexander Münch.
Yes.
And Alexander said, "Hey, this is great. I need this command. Can you give me the source code of this small helper tool?" I give him his command, and then he was very hot to develop new commands there, and so we added new commands only for our developer team at netz98, and sometimes at some day we had 10 or 12 commands there in the tool. Most of the commands were developed in some stress situations.
Okay.
So yeah,
you have to give some examples now of the stressful situations.
Yeah, one command was setup compare versions command, where you can see which module is not up to date with the setup scripts, and this was created during a live rollout. So,
okay.
We upgraded a system on a staging environment, and there was a big upgrade of the database tables in this setup scripts, and it ran for 3 hours on the staging system, and the live system was much bigger than the staging system environment. So we thought in 2 hours it should be ready, and all the scripts are finished. I will finish, but it was completely different as we deployed it to the production server, the new Magento version. It took, and we did this in the night, and not during the day, so in the night, and it ran for 6 hours, and our customer said, "How long will it take to finish this procedure?" And we didn't know how long it will take. And so we programmed this command, and so you could see which modules are not up to date, and could estimate the time a little bit.
Yeah. That's so funny. We've got some questions coming on the live chat, so I'm gonna just note those down to myself so I can ask you in a bit. But so I mean, I think that Mage Run is what's the sort of the scale of Mage Run as an open source project, number of contributors, size of the open source project?
Yeah. I think there are more than 100 contributors for the Magento 1 version, and for the Magento 2 version, it's a little bit slow. Lower. The count is a little bit lower, but the Magento 1 version is very popular because of the lagging tools at this moment for Magento 1.
Lagging tools.
Lagging, I mean, there was no really complete tool at this moment. There was Mage tool available,
right?
But the installation was hard for all these tools,
right?
And so this tool fits an empty patches an empty part.
Yeah, a gap in the
gap.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So it was very famous. So, but for Magento 2, it's not on the same level. So Magento comes with an CLI tool. It's inspired by netz98 Mage Run.
Right.
But you have a CLI tool out of the box in Magento 2. So
right. It it's in a way it makes me a little sad that Majorun isn't as popular with M2, but the reality is that's how it should be. I mean, Magento should have this functionality, should be core, should have been core all along. And they're doing a better job of managing open source contributions. So if people, I imagine if people want to create their own command, things like that, they can do that more easily. So it kind of makes me a little sad on the one hand, but then the other hand, it sort of is the way that it really should be for the
Yeah, I
project.
think it's a little bit more difficult to distinguish between some concepts. So in Magento 1 is no really good CLI tool. There was only a shell folder in the source code, and you had to create a PHP file to have a CLI command, but not a command with this. So it was not very friendly for developers to create CLI commands in Magento 1.
Yeah.
So there was no interactive features for developers. So no option and argument parsing available,
Yeah.
and so Matron was a big advantage for developers to
Right. Yeah.
have a validation of your arguments and some
Yeah.
other stuff which comes with the Symfony
Yeah.
components. And
Yeah.
I had a talk with Alan Kent some years ago, and I recommended Magento to use the Symfony components for Magento 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. So now you have this convenience of Matron in Magento 2 core tools. So
It's good. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. And they used the same Symfony versions as used for Matron 2. So there was a chance that they could be compatible with each other. And so Matron can include all the core commands, and you can use Matron to call any core command outside of the Magento root. You don't have to provide a path to the bin Magento tool. Matron can auto detect the Magento root for you, and you can also use with Matron the core commands. It's like a proxy for your core commands. That's the advantage of Matron 2.
Actually, got a question that might be relevant to this from Juice Leet, I think is their name, in the live chat, which is what was the difficulty in order to integrate Magento 2 with the command line tool?
The difficulty to integrate Matron into
I think that's what they're asking. Feel free to clarify that, by the way, in the chat.
Does he means that if it would be difficult to include the Matron commands into Magento core?
I'm not sure. I don't know. And you can answer it however.
I think we should distinguish between commands which are made only for a project or your local Magento store.
Yeah.
And commands which are used in multiple Magento versions. So let me say there are some commands which can check if your installation is spoiled. So if you have some damages, this would not be a good idea to integrate these commands into Magento core. So if the system has a defect, the command is also defect. So you need a tool on a higher level of the Magento store. And then that's what Matron can do for you. It's around the Magento framework. So if you only have project-specific stuff and need a command line, you should not create a Matron module for that. You should integrate it directly to Magento as Magento module. That's my opinion.
That makes sense.
So it would be cool if Magento would have a tool, an official tool, maybe, which can easily create Magento projects.
To easily create project-specific commands?
No, I mean a tool which can install Magento very easy. So like the Symfony tools can do for the framework.
Oh, okay.
So a tool which sits outside of the Magento core. So it can install the Magento core.
Okay, like
or can repair a defect in Magento.
Okay, yeah.
So like a meter tool.
Yeah. Like Laravel has like a Laravel installer. You know, like that.
This.
Gotcha.
Or maybe a newer version of Matron could use the Magento APIs to give informations instead of a direct file access. Yeah, this could be a new version of Matron, which can work with maybe the REST API or.
What's it been like for you managing? Because it's hard to manage open source, and Majorun has been very successful. A lot of contributions. I remember I would see the updates you would post on like a monthly basis as you were putting out releases, different features, and all the people that you're managing pull requests for and things like that. What has it been like overall, just managing that project?
Yeah, sadly, it's harder and harder. So, so for Magento 1, it was very easy because the Magento core was very, there was no there weren't new code in the Magento core over years. Only small changes with new Magento versions. And there was no change or bigger change.
There was like no breaking changes. There were very
few changes and no changes in the dependencies of Magento, like the send framework. It was always send framework 1.
Right.
With Magento 2 and with the usage of Composer, the speed of development increased a lot in Magento, and that's a good thing that Magento. They boosted the development with Composer. But on the other side, or the other hand, I have to manage all these dependencies in Matron. So the idea of Matron is to have one tool to manage them, to rule them all. One tool to rule them all. But Matron also includes dependencies to BG the Symfony components. So, and if Matron uses Symfony in a version and Magento uses Symfony components in a special version, they have to be compatible to work together. Because I bootstrap the Magento framework inside of Matron. It's like an entry point, like an entry point class.
Yeah.
So, and in the newer Magento versions, the 2.3 version is at the moment not compatible with Matron. So they use newer Symfony components, and I have to decide how can I be compatible with the next upcoming Magento version and stay compatible with the old Magento versions and not the late only the last. I need to be compatible with all the existing Magento versions, and it's harder and harder. And I think it's impossible in the future to have a tool which is compatible with all Magento versions at once. That's what I think. That's harder and harder to manage the source code of Matron.
Yeah. Oh, well, that makes me sad a little bit. What do you see? The other thing that makes me a little sad is that, like, the nature of open source is that, you haven't been able, you haven't directly monetized Major. I think about the amount of value that Major creates for the entire ecosystem, right? And I think to myself, man, it'd be cool if you could monetize that, right? To help justify all the time that you're spending on it and all the value that it's creating.
But this was never an idea of me to monetize Matron. So if you look at the license of Matron, I decided to use MIT license because MIT license is very liberal, and it's possible to use Matron, give them the tool another name, and you can sell it with
Right.
MIT license.
Yeah. MIT license.
And that's granted by the license.
Right.
So, or maybe Alan Storm wrote a book about Matron, and that's okay. That anyone can make money with Matron, and hosters can pre-install it on the machines. That's okay, because I decided that the MIT license should be used, and it was never the intention to make money with Matron for me.
Yeah. What was the value of Majorun to yourself personally, or to, netz98, to the company? I mean, some things are obvious. You're scratching your own itch and creating a tool that's helpful for you. But as the project scales and you're interacting with all these contributors, spending a lot of time. Also, actually, along with that question, I'm curious how much time you spend.
Yeah. I think there is a big advantage for netz98 to so the company name is spread out to the community. So this is an advantage, and I think that's a popular it's the most popular open source contribution of our company. So this is
I think it's
a
the
big
most
advantage.
popular open source project in the Magento community, period.
Okay.
Other than Magento itself. And prior to Magento 2 becoming truly open source on GitHub, it was probably even more widely contributed than, at least on GitHub, than Magento 1 itself. By the way, Marcel Howry in the chat said, "Thank you, Christian, for a great tool."
Okay. I'm not so offensive type of person, so it's for me it's okay that it's used by anyone, and for our company it's a good advertisement.
Yeah, that's great.
But that's great for us. So I think netz98 is one of the biggest enterprise partners in Germany. So our most of the people know our company as enterprise solution partner, but not as open source contributor. But with this tool, we showed that we can also contribute to Magento open source. And in the background, we did a lot of contributions to the Magento team, core team, but this is not seen by anyone. But we did this in the past for Magento, also for Magento 1. Most of the time, we created bug reports in the Magento enterprise support, but we also delivered the patch for most of the problems. So
okay, nice.
Most of the time we provided a solution for the bug we reported.
And when you say that you've contributed in the past, but nobody knew about it, is this before they really got serious about M2 contributions, giving people credit and things like that?
This was a long time before. At this time, you had to sign a contract that you can have access to the SVN repository.
Yeah. And, the good old days.
You cannot compare it with the current Magento open source activities. So
yeah.
So in a partner meeting, I recommended Magento that they could release all the patches they offer to their partners in a public repository for at least for the partners, but they didn't do this in this time. So every partner had his or got an own tax patch for their tax problems. Yeah, we had a lot of tax problems with Magento 1 in Germany. So
what do you mean by text problems?
Yeah.
Oh, taxes.
Yeah, wrong tax calculations. This was a big problem in Germany. And if you talk to other agencies, every agency got a special programmed tax patch for Magento. And that was a point that Magento didn't release all the patches at once, because if you see 10 different text patches which should be applied in your shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How much actually, what do you, so how are you guys feeling currently about contributing to Magento 2? It sounds like most of your contribution was, in the past. Um, are you guys looking at contributing? Is it make sense in your workflow? If you run into an issue, run into a bug, is it easy enough? Does it make sense to contribute to the core?
Yeah, it always makes sense to contribute to the Magento core. So, but it's very time consuming to the Magento core at the moment, and we have a lot of new Magento 2 projects in the pipeline. So it matters. If you have some time, we create new features for Magento 2, and we submit it. But at the moment, we are very busy with current projects, and so our contribution is more improving the Magento product itself. So we give a lot of feedback to the product management. So we do a lot of the marketing activities by ourselves in Germany. So the marketing team in Germany is growing, but it's not as big as in the States. So we have to do a lot of marketing together with Magento in Germany. So our contribution is not only source code.
Absolutely.
Or let me talk about the Magento Cloud solution. Yeah, one of the first adapters in Germany. In the States, Magento Cloud is more popular than in Germany. But in Germany, we are one of the first companies working together with Magento and Magento Cloud. So we give a lot of feedback to the teams, Magento teams.
Yeah. How is cloud working out for you guys?
Yeah, that's a difficult topic. I think if you work with Magento Cloud and you use all the stuff which comes from Magento in the way Magento delivers it, it works well. But if you have some differences in your project setup or the structure of your project, you have to be compatible with Magento. So support is not able to fix your problems. So you have to do it by yourself. But but Magento Cloud is more a managed solution. It's like a managed hosting. So it's not possible for you to solve every problem by yourself. You have to create support tickets and to have a good connection to the support team. And that's very important.
Right. You mentioned that it's very time consuming to contribute source code to the M2 core, and you guys are very busy right now and contributing some other ways. What are some of the things that make it very, I mean, obviously when you have a pull, some code to fix or a feature, you have to do a pull request, you have to communicate with them, all that stuff. There's all that overhead, but what is it that makes the process really time consuming to be able to contribute? And is there anything you think that can be done to
with contribution? I don't mean fixing bugs and send a solution, because we always analyze the bugs in our team, and most of the time we found solutions to fix Magento core bugs, and that we can recontribute it back. But with contribution, I mean creating new features. So, bigger features, and this is time consuming because you have to do calls with contribution teams, and
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's time consuming.
Right.
But we like hackathons and other stuff and contribute code.
Yeah. Um, you talked about how as a very large enterprise solutions partner, you've also shown that you can do open source and do it really well. And I'm thinking about some things I read related to the Adobe Magento acquisition by Matt Assay, the head of developer advocate at Adobe, and some things I saw in his timeline where, like, the future of enterprise software is open source, and how open source can be so important to enterprise software. Um, how do you guys think about that as a company? And has it been easy to convince the business people that open source really makes sense as an enterprise solutions partner?
That's a difficult question. um, I think the intention of Magento is that they target Magento customers in the enterprise level. So most of the revenue they have is in the enterprise segment, not in the I say long tail of this community segment. So the discussions about Magento enterprise is different to our to this community edition mindset. So these people don't talk about source code. They talk about guarantees for support, or what are the license costs for the next 5 years, and if anything is defect, who is responsible to fix it.
Yeah,
It's a different discussion. So I think this open source discussion is made by developers, but the people who decide don't know anything about source code, and it's not important for them. But sometimes we have discussions which by technical people in companies, and say open source is a big advantage for them. One argument is if Magento is not existing anymore, the source code is available for the public publicity, and you can take the code and fork the project and create a new Magento version with the forked code.
Right.
And that's a big advantage of open source for business people. So it's it guarantees that the source code is available all the time.
Right.
And
yeah, it's sort of future proof. Do you oh, by the way, I want to mention Meet Magento Netherlands is happening right now. So I've been watching the tweets, and that's been fun to follow. Do you guys work much in that market at all, or are you really purely in Germany as far as your customers go?
The Netherlands is very next to Germany. It's direct contact
Borders.
the direct border, and it's not far away. And I really like the Dutch people, and
Stroopwafels.
very cool guys, and we have one customer in the Netherlands. Most of our customers are located in Germany. So
gotcha.
But we also have customers outside of Germany, like Switzerland or the Netherlands.
Right. Got it.
But I think 80% of the customers are in Germany at the moment.
Yeah. Such an interesting market, the German market. It's if I ever am trying to find a developer available, or even an agency, it's almost impossible. Everybody is so busy. I was talking to somebody that's been freelancing, and he said the only challenge is deciding which project to pick from.
Yeah, I think there is a difference in the market, in the agency part of Germany and maybe the US. So if you look at the enterprise partners in the US, the average employee count size is up more than 100 people. So most of the bigger companies have more than 100 people. In Germany, a big enterprise partner has 50 people. So it's a big difference in the market of the agencies.
And do both do, as far as the requirements for being an enterprise partner, as far as the number of licenses you have to do, that kind of thing, are they the same in
Yeah, that's a big problem. So that's what I mean. In the US, you have more developers, more bigger companies, and you have the same. You have to bring the same requirements as in Germany, and that's what German companies make angry.
Okay. So you guys are more efficient.
Yeah, that's why we decided to do most of the projects with Magento Enterprise, because every community edition project is a lost license fee for us, and so it's harder to fit the requirements.
Yeah. Do you guys work with any other e-commerce platforms?
No, we are
Okay.
dedicated to Magento. That's very special in the market. Most of the German companies have other solutions like Shopware or Spryker.
Right. So that makes you guys unique, that you only do Magento. Yeah. What do you think about Spryker? I've heard a lot about it. My friend Michael Turk recently moved from Flagbit to Spryker, and I've heard some interesting things about it.
Yeah, it's hard to compare. Spryker is a framework. It's a PHP framework for e-commerce solutions, and it's not a
full application,
ready to use application. So if you create if you have very special requirements, e-commerce requirements, and your application is not a shop, an online shop, so Spryker could be a good solution to create maybe marketplaces. At the beginning of Spryker, they advertised Spryker as a solution for category leaders. They said category leaders, and so but at the moment they changed their mindset. They pronounce that Spryker can be used for every e-commerce solution, and that's a problem for us. So if it's we are very Magento related, and if we do Spryker, we have to decide, should we use Spryker for an online shop or Magento, and that's not what we want. For online shops, we only want one system, and that's Magento.
Yeah.
But Spryker is an interesting framework.
So what do you think about the Adobe acquisition?
There are not so many informations available.
Yeah.
It's secret. But if I think about that, I think if you can decide between an investment company which owns Magento or a software company, it's easy to choose. So I really like a software company, but we don't know how Adobe will use Magento in their portfolio in the future. So it's a little bit you don't know what the future brings.
Yeah.
So it's hard to decide if it's a good it's good that Magento is acquired by Adobe or not. But I think there are a lot of chances for the solution itself. So let's think about Magento CMS. At the moment, we have Bluefoot for the Bluefoot module for the Magento Enterprise version, which will be replaced in the future with a new Magento page builder. And if you think about that and think about a page builder with embedded solutions of Adobe in this tool, so it's a big chance. So maybe you create a B2C website and a landing page, and you have a CMS with all the Adobe stuff in there inside your Magento system. This would be very cool.
Yeah.
And
I've heard
Adobe,
that I was saying I've heard that the Adobe CMS is very good. I don't know too much about it. I haven't used it myself, but
I never used it, but I also heard a lot of good stuff about that. And my Maria Kern, you know Maria Kern, she had a look about on this system, and she was very impressed about that. And so I think this is a chance for Magento to embed all the Magento, the Adobe stuff in the Magento CMS.
Yeah. You guys use I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Yeah, as another interesting solution, Adobe has some data analysis tools, which can be I can imagine that this stuff could be combined with the Magento business intelligence tool. So there's another part of the portfolio of Adobe, which is not as popular as the Photoshop tools and these tools, but this would be fit very good in the Magento BI.
You guys use Typo 3 a lot in Germany, right? Do you guys? I always hear about Typo 3 for content.
Yeah, that's correct. In Typo 3 is a system created by an developer in Denmark, and a lot of German developers improve Typo 3, and but our company only do Magento development, so we are not the Typo 3 guys. But I developed Typo 3 years ago personally. I created some Typo 3 extensions, so I know the system a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And that's right. In Germany, it's very popular, but outside of Germany, it's not so popular.
Yeah. That was my impression.
So like Drupal is not so popular in Germany, but Typo 3 is very popular.
Yeah. And so you guys don't use Adobe very much as far as the experience manager, or?
No, we are very B2B related. Most of our jobs are B2B. And I think these tools are more B2C related. So that's why we don't use so much Adobe tools, but our designers are using Photoshop as well. So
yeah.
So I think Adobe Cloud tools are used in our company. But these special tools for B2C landing pages and so on are not very popular in our projects.
Right. What do you have you used the Magento's B2B features yet?
Yeah, we all most of the projects use the B2B features. We really like that. So for example, the permission system, which is offered by the company module in Magento B2B, is used in every project. So you can implement ACLs in the front end, not only in the admin HTML. So it's easy to integrate new system parts in the front end with ACLs. And for B2B solutions, you always need ACLs in the front end.
That's cool.
Yeah, or this company logic itself is very useful for us. In the past, we had to develop a lot of B2B tools by ourselves, but with Magento B2B, we have this directly in Magento Core. So that's great.
That's awesome. That's cool.
By the way, we have a very big continuous integration pipeline in our company with GitLab. And we have special Docker containers only for the B2B edition to test our modules against the B2B edition.
Nice.
So the B2B tools are very heavily used in our projects. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, he was one of the early adopters of the B2B tools. We had access to the code before they was released, and if you have a look on one of our biggest references is using B2B editions before they was released.
Nice.
I think maybe it's the first project created with the B2B extensions.
Oh, the first in ever.
Overall, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So it was an improvement for the core feature set was sort of an improvement over. I mean, you guys must have built up a ton of B2B specific extensions and things like that for all your clients, but the core functionality was an improvement over those, a good foundation to be able to build on and customize.
Yeah, that's good. Foundation is correct, but you cannot use all the B2B stuff only as it comes. So you have to change logics. For example, we have a project and we had to move the complete logic of the admin HTML part for the negotiable quote module to the front end. This was very hard, but it was possible. So I don't know if you know what the negotiable quote module does.
No, it sounds like it allows them to negotiate, like to go back and forth and negotiate a quote.
Yeah, you can create a quote in the front end as customer, and you have assigned sales representative, which is an admin user. And this admin user is assigned to this company, and he gets a feedback if a new quote is submitted, and then they can negotiate a good price for a quote, and it's locked to this quote, so you can have a brief overview about all the negotiations of this quote, and we moved all this stuff from the admin HTML part to the front end. So you have two customers, not admin HTML users. You have a customer and another customer, and one is a service partner of the other customer, and they send their quotes in the front end from customer to customer. So it's different logic, but it was possible to implement all the stuff with the Magento against the Magento interfaces in the code. It was possible. Because, you replace the implementation of this interfaces with our own. This was not easy, but it was possible. So that's, I think, it's a good experience that the new approach in Magento 2 with a lot of interfaces helps developers to implement special solutions without to be incompatible and the system cannot update anymore. It's possible if you,
that's awesome.
Work very.
Why was that functionality in the back end to begin with instead of in the front end? It seems like something you'd want in the front end if that's where the B2B customer is going to place the order.
I think most of the time you have a business relationship between a front end user, which is called customer in Magento, and and the merchant itself, which uses admin HTML. In our case, we have business relations between different front-end customers.
Oh, okay. So kind of like a marketplace type thing.
Yeah, that's a good example for B2B solutions. So B2B solutions are not there is no out-of-the-box solution for all these different approaches in B2B. So maybe price logics also a good example. I saw at least 50 different price logics in my career. For B2B, some uses price lists, some have price lists which can be inherited from each other. So yeah, some logics are directly communicating with ERP systems. So it's not possible for Magento to provide a custom solution which fits in every case. And that's also funny. The interesting part to create B2B solutions. So if you if you like if you like custom code, you have the chance to create some custom code if you work for netz98.
Nice. What are some of the most interesting or weird B2B features or piece of functionality that you've seen, or the weirdest requirements? Or
this project I talked is one of this features. So I talked about this two front-end customers which have business relations, but it is also be possible that customer A is a service partner of customer B, but customer B can also be a customer and have a service partner. So it's like a recursion of, and you have permissions for all the people of these companies, and you have to manage this. So it does. So the system must know if you are in a service partner mode or in a customer mode. So
okay. Is it possible customer A is a service partner to customer B, and customer B is also a service partner to customer?
That's not possible.
A to B and B to C.
Yeah. So that's customer funny. C must be involved. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
That's funny.
Or a typical B2B feature is that you are in the Magento card, and all the prices are calculated if you enter the card. And the calculation is not done by Magento, it's done by an external system, maybe SAP. And you do order simulation in the ERP system, and the ERP system returns all the prices with discounts and special conditions to Magento, and you replace the complete card. But if the ERP is not available, you have to be a fallback to implement a fallback solution inside of Magento, which simulates this ERP functionality inside of Magento. So it's
that seems like a lot of work to basically re-implement all of the cart discounting functionality of an ERP system within Magento, just in the case that the ERP is down.
I think it's not possible to implement all the stuff which is implemented in the ERP, but you must be a customer must be able to order in Magento if Magento is in the fallback mode. But the fallback mode is only for if the ERP system is not available, and the ERP system is it's sometimes we have to maintain the ERP system, and so the system has to go down. It's not high available. So you have to, but the customer should be able to order. So you have to find a good workaround in Magento. But it's not a one-to-one implementation of the ERP functionality. So you cannot implement all the features of an SAP system in Magento with PHP. That's
just something that's good enough so they can place an order when the ERP is down. That's interesting. What do you think about GDPR?
Yeah, that's drives us nuts in Germany and in
Nuts,
complete
nuts
in
or
Europe.
nets? Drives you nuts or nets?
Yeah, both. Yeah, that's a big topic. We invested at least 9 weeks with several people to create all the stuff for the GDPR compliance, and yeah, some parts are very good for the privacy and for your own data.
Hmm.
So if everyone does what GDPR means,
Hmm.
data should be a little bit more secure. But some of this of these rules are not. Yeah, it's not realistic that everyone will do what the laws want. So
Hmm.
it's yeah.
What are some of those rules that don't seem reasonable?
Yeah, you have to get an yeah. I don't know what's the English term for that, but an agreement to use your data, and you have to yeah to have to get this before you talk with each with a person.
Hmm.
So it's not possible to there are some edge cases, like if you give your business card to someone,
Hmm.
you need to have a contract with them, so that you know that you can use this card, whatever you do with this card. Then that's not
So
not really
I'm at a
possible.
conference. I meet you. I give you my business card, and I say, "Just a
Yeah.
minute. Let's sign a contract real
Yeah.
quick."
Yeah, there are some funny videos of some lawyers about that, and and it's if you do all the stuff which is written in the law, you have to do this, and I think it's not realistic that everyone will have a contract with each other if you share business cards.
Yeah, seriously. So you said you spent like 9 weeks getting a bunch of stuff ready. What were the things that, as an agency, you had to get ready? Is it like getting policies in place, having lawyers look through things and getting policies in place, or
Yeah,
building functionality?
all the stuff. So you have to create yeah, you have to document your processes related to personal data, and you have to not only to document, you have to find solution to secure the data, and you have to yeah, you have to define yeah, arrange how long you use the data, and when it's time to erase all the data, and this
Mhm.
for each process, and it's not really simple, and this is one part of this requirements, and you have to sign contracts with each freelancer, with each customer, with each yeah service partner, which
Mhm.
yeah which must be signed, and
Right. Right.
yeah, this is a big part, of this stuff, and there are a lot of processes where private data are processed. So like not only customer projects like Magento shop, so you have private data of your own employees in the house, and you have to be transparent in a way, and yeah, and you have to document all this in a big collection of processes, and it must be checked by lawyers, so that it fits the requirements.
Wow.
Yeah, this took at least 9 weeks.
Hmm. Have you seen some of these sites that are like US based sites that they just don't work at all in Europe right now because they just say
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
compliant?
I saw this. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But there are also examples for special offerings like yeah, services in the US
Hmm.
with advertised with GDPR compliant, and some American people booked these services to be guaranteed to have more secure data in the US. So it's
Really?
yeah, so it's funny to
That's,
see both sides. So some services are not available for European citizens, but on the other side, American people book these services if they are available, and they pay a lot of more money to have secure data in the US.
that's funny. I didn't realize that. No, and it is, I mean, it is having a huge impact on the whole world, and I'm sure the US will adopt a similar policy at some point soon.
Okay.
Um, so it's definitely having an impact. Um, so what do you like to do outside of work?
Yeah, I do a lot of with with a family. I have two kids, a
Uh-huh.
girl and a boy.
Yeah.
So this took most of the time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's good though. And
How old are you kids?
my girl is 6 years old, and
Mm.
the boy is 3 years
Mm.
old.
Hmm. Mine are
So
8 and 3
eh,
and 6 months.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, nice.
that's funny. Um, what do you guys like to do?
Um, the family,
Hmm.
or what they like to do, or they like swimming.
Hmm.
Swimming is very popular, or some indoor playgrounds,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
or
All the same stuff that
um,
all kids like to do.
yeah, I think it's just all the same stuff, and playing Lego. So
Legos, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lego, and yeah, it's or last
Nice.
week we um, visited. I don't know the English word for it. So in Germany we say Kirmes. It's like a local, yeah, yeah. I don't know how can say it in English.
I'll have to do a Google Translate. Kiemis?
Yeah.
Kiemis? I don't know. um, we'll have to figure that out later. Um,
Fun fair. Fun fair?
oh, a fun fair, like with roller coasters,
Yeah, so in
things like
this
that.
way, but it was locally, so it was built only for temporary, a temporary
Uh-huh.
build.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think there is no counterpart in the US for such
Uh,
things.
in the live chat, Juice Leet said, Kermis is a local party in Germany with a big tent.
Yeah, but that's I think that's correct.
Oh, okay,
So
okay, gotcha.
sometimes you can drink beer in these tents, and but I didn't drink any beer because I was there with my kids, and
I
they
thought everybody in Germany drank beer, kids and
yeah, but it's not right that we drink all the time beer.
you have to, yeah, you can't do it all the time.
By the way, in my region, it's more wine than beer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
It's wine. The vineyards of Germany are in my region. So
Mm.
Rheinhessen and Pfalz. That's
Hmm.
big
Oh, nice.
vineyards here.
Okay. Red wine or white wine? Or
Both,
both? Both. Okay.
both. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
And more white than red.
Okay.
So
That's what I like.
it's more
Uh,
German Riesling. Riesling is a famous wine in
okay.
Germany.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a fan of white wine.
Yeah.
So, what are any future plans for the company for Nets98? What are you guys up to? What are you guys focused on for the future?
Yeah, we are focused on Magento only at the moment, and it has no plan to change this in the future. But I think the e-commerce systems are much bigger than in the past. So you have to connect Magento with a lot of more different systems, and so you need more consulting and more experience with external systems, and that's what we try to improve in our company, to have more partners, to have more experience with the systems like SAP or other ERPs or product information systems. There's a lot of stuff to integrate. Like or enterprise service bus is a big topic at the moment, and maybe we will have a special group of people which can deal with the systems in the future, maybe. So this is one of the ideas, and on the other side, we are not at the end of our we want to grow a lot of more in Germany. At the moment, we are 70 people roundabout. And we want to reach 100 people. So next week we open a new office in Hamburg. So Hamburg is no enterprise partner at the moment, and we try to be the enterprise partner of North Germany. So it's one of the ideas.
Oh, congratulations on the new office.
Yeah, next week.
That's great. That's great.
We have an opening party there, so you can join us if you want.
Okay. Okay. I want to try to make it out to Europe maybe next year. We have a newborn, so it's a little hard to travel, but maybe next year make it out to Europe. By the way, Ralph just got into the live chat and he said, "Damn, I almost missed this." Ralph.
Yeah, he's asked him about his age today.
Is it a special day today? Awesome. And also, like, what's your role at Nets98? You obviously do so much. Are you like a technical architect there, team lead?
Yeah, I'm in the role of a system architect. So in customer projects, but on the other side, I'm the head of development of Nets98. So it's like a CTO. So
Right.
by the way, Ralph is more like a CIO. So
okay.
So we work together, and I do a lot with Ralph. It's very funny. So we have a lot of funny projects, Ralph and me.
That's cool. What's the distinction between a CIO, Chief Information Officer, and a CTO? What does that role look like?
In our perspective, it's I'm more inside the company, so I work with developer teams, and I decide how can we create Magento modules, can reuse modules, how can the Magento development be improved.
Yeah.
And Ralph is a connection between me, so from inside the company to the outside partners and Magento itself. So he's more connected with Magento people, and he needs me to provide solutions. So
got it.
So I'm more inside the company, and he's connection between inside and outside.
Got it.
Also from a technical perspective, so maybe, for example, cloud solutions. So he is creating contracts with suppliers and find good partners, and then I join him in some discussions, and we decide how can we improve the Magento development overall, but he is doing the connection, so he knows more people at Magento as me. So.
Okay.
He knows the product managers, and the cloud providers, and
Ralph
I'm
said,
also a source code guy.
Ralph said, you're PHP Storm and he's Excel.
Yeah, that's not 100% true, because Ralph also worked as developer in
Yeah.
the past. So he tries to present himself as a business Excel office user, but he also knows how a command line can be used, and and PHP functions be written.
Good. Any upcoming events in Germany that she'll be going to?
Yeah, it's hard this year because I move to a new house.
Mhm.
I relocate to a new house, so I have personally not the time to visit all the community events this year. So I will miss Meet Magento Germany this year,
Mhm.
but maybe I will visit the European Magento Live conference.
Mhm. In
So
Spain?
yeah, in
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah. That one
So
looks fun. Cool.
that's an idea,
Mhm.
and we try to do more hackathons in
Mm.
our company,
Uh-huh.
and we for some weeks we did our first hackathon,
Mhm.
and we try
Company hackathon?
yeah, a company hackathon, and the next hackathon should be opened for the publicity, for the public people, so every developer could join our hackathon.
Mhm.
So that's one of my of the ideas, and so it's not the plan that I visit all the conferences.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. What do you think in terms of your company culture? Like we were talking about how there's a lot of demand for developers in Germany and Magento developers. What do you think makes your company culture unique, and what do you think developers? I mean, we're talking about hackathons, which are
Yeah.
obviously are fun, especially if they're sponsored by the company and things like that. What do you think are the things that developers are interested in as far as company culture goes?
Yeah, I think the dedicated position of netz98 is that we do B2B commerce in a very high quality. So we are known as test-driven development maniacs. So we
Nice.
do a lot of automated testing in our company, and we force developers to do that. So it's not that you get problems if you do test-driven development, because it's lower. So we enforce people to testing. So if you like special projects, big projects in a high quality, you should work for netz98 in Germany. And what is very dedicated to us is that we only do Magento. So if you
Mhm.
like Magento development, you can develop Magento all the time in our company, and we don't mix it with other technologies. So in some companies, you do 2 days a week Magento, and the next 2 days you create WordPress plugins, and the next day you use
Typo
some
3.
custom Typo 3, for example.
Yeah.
That's not netz98. We do only create Magento modules, projects, and maybe related PHP libraries, but always in the Magento context. So
That's
that's
great.
very special.
That's great. That's interesting because a lot of times when you talk about company culture, people think about, ping pong tables or things like that. But I think that what developers really are, there's a lot of developers that really are very interested in test driven development. They'd like to do it more in theory, but in practice, it's impossible to do, or the company has to really believe in it to really drive that, and like you said, to force people to do it. Otherwise, it just won't happen. People will get busy, and it's kind of like what you said about contributing to the core. You'd love to, but you're busy, and
Mhm.
if it's not really a value of the company. So I think that's interesting.
Mhm. I
And
think there is not so big difference in this other stuff you told me. So like ping pong or a better coffee machine or something of this
yeah.
stuff. So for me personally, it's more important to know which people are working there. Can I work with them together? Is how is yeah if you do a mistake, how is everyone handles that?
Hmm.
Or can I talk with the bosses? Can I talk with my supervisor?
Yeah.
Is there a supervisor? Is the team deciding
Hmm.
in a company? Yeah,
Yeah, those are the things that really matter to the work that you
and
are
and
doing day in and day
also
out.
and also are there interesting projects? So
Yeah, of
if
course.
if you create all the time the same stuff, this is boring for a developer.
Of course. Of course.
New technologies, new experiences. So if you create every time a fashion shop and it's always the same stuff, and
Yeah.
that's boring for me. For
Yeah.
maybe some developers like that, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't have to yeah to learn new stuff. But I
Hmm.
personally like people who are learning new stuff and try to create solutions which are not available at the moment. So
Hmm.
creative solutions. And
Yeah.
in our case, we most of the time create projects with a lot of SKUs,
Hmm.
very special price logics, and so all the B2B stuff. And
Yeah.
that's very dedicated. And for me, that's important for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, hey, this has been a lot of fun. Is there anything else we should talk about before we wrap up? Anything I missed?
We talked a lot about Magento, and maybe we found another topic, but at the moment, I have no new topic.
Okay, awesome. How can people find you online to connect with you?
You can find me on Twitter. My handle is CMUENCH, like
Mhm.
my name without the umlaut.
Yeah.
But I'm also in Facebook, LinkedIn, and also important platforms. So
Awesome.
you can also reach me by email. So you find my email if you open the composer JSON file in the GitHub project of Matron. So
Okay. There you go. Awesome. Well, thanks, Christian. It was really great to speak with you. And again, we just got one question actually from Julian in the live chat. Is there a rough guess when the next hackathon will be?
this is a colleague of me. Yeah. I think in 3 months is the next hackathon.
Okay.
So the exact date is not in my mind, but I think it's at least 3 months.
Okay. Got it. Well, thanks again. And again, thank you for everything you've done with N98 Mage Run. It's a huge contribution to the community. Everybody appreciates you and loves you. And it was a lot of fun doing this. So we'll have to do this again soon. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. Thank
Okay.
you very
Bye.
much.